The original Game Boy was launched in 1989 and was received with mixed reviews. While its success is ingrained in our cultural memory now, when it was launched, it was a technologically inferior product. The Game Boy was designed to be a cheap, low-powered, portable gaming system. It was limited in many ways. No backlight for the screen, and incredibly low installed memory available for coding games. Review magazines of the time viewed these features as a negative, but these compromises in design were exactly why the Game Boy succeeded. This was a console for the masses. Even with these limitations, engineers and programmers came up with ingenious methods to create games that have not only stood the test of time, but launched some of the most valuable franchises in the history of the entertainment industry. TV shows, movies, toys, and even theme parks. This is the insane engineering of the Nintendo Game Boy. The Game Boy's simple design borrows much of its success from its older brother, the NES, a straightforward and familiar controller setup. Nintendo knew that size and weight were the most important factors for a system to be portable. The Game Boy was almost half the size and half the weight of its competitors, just under 15 centimeters in height and 3 centimeters thick. It weighed only 220 grams. This 35-year-old console doesn't feel oversized like the mobile phones of